Giving advice with the modal verb should, ought to, and had better.
It's Joe.
Oh yeah? What did he say?
He said, see you at the restaurant in an hour. What? The restaurants? Oh no. Oh my gosh. I completely forgot. Today's our anniversary. We're going to Gary's Steakhouse in an hour at 7 o'clock. I'm not even ready. I don't even have a gift. What am I going to do? How am I going to buy a gift, wrap it, and make it to the restaurant by 7?
Poor Emily. She needs our help.
Where is the best place for Emily to buy a gift? At the city park, a drugstore, a shopping mall, or a supermarket? I'm thinking a shopping mall. There are many stores and lots of presents to choose from. Which way sounds more friendly? I'm telling you to go to the mall. Or, it's a good idea to go to the mall. The first way is a command. It may sound bossy to tell someone to do something. The second way, saying that it's a good idea, sounds more friendly. There are 3 main advice modals. Should. She should buy a gift at the mall. Ought to. She ought to buy a gift at the mall. Had better. She'd better buy a gift at the mall. The first way, should, is the most common. It can be used in any situation from informal conversations with friends to formal academic and professional writing. The second way, ought to, is used in conversations. It is not often used in academic and professional writing. Because ought to is informal style, ought to is often reduced to oughta. She ought to buy a gift at the mall. The third way is had better. That D stands for had. She had better buy a gift at the mall. In conversation, we often contract it to she'd better. She'd better buy a gift at the mall. This last one, had better, is the strongest of these 3 advice modals. There's a sense of danger, like something bad will happen if you don't follow this advice. For example, maybe the mall will close very soon. Emily had better buy a gift at the mall before it closes. If she doesn't reach the mall before it closes, she will not be able to buy a gift in time.
Which of the following sentences gives the strongest warning? James ought to put on some sunscreen. James should put on some sunscreen. James had better put on some sunscreen. Strongest warning? Strongest warning is given by had better. Correct?
In my conversation with Emily, it is almost 6 o'clock. Do you remember what time she needs to be at the restaurant? She needs to be at the restaurant at 7 o'clock. That gives her an hour, not very much time for shopping. She should not spend too much time at the mall. This is an example of using an advice modal in its negative form, should with not. Should not can be contracted to shouldn't. She shouldn't spend too much time at the mall. In American English, we do not use ought to with not. With not, we will use should or had better. For example, she had better not spend too much time at the mall. Had can be shortened, contracted. She'd better not spend too much time at the mall.
Which sentence is not common in standard American English? The waiter ought not to walk so fast while carrying a tray full of dishes. The waiter had better not walk so fast while carrying a tray full of dishes. The waiter should not walk so fast while carrying a tray full of dishes, which is not common. I think this one might be, yes, it's correct.
Don't worry, I have an idea. Okay? Well, you don't have much time, so you'd definitely better not drive too far.
Alright, where should I go?
You ought to try the Irvine Mall. It's on the way to the restaurant, and there are lots of stores over there.
Okay.
And maybe you should get a gift receipt too. That way, if he doesn't like the present, he could easily return it.
Great idea. Oh, thank you so much, Judy. I'd better go now if I want to make it on time.
Bye. Have fun!
Thanks.
Let's review.
There are 3 advice modals: should, ought to, and had better. Which one is the strongest? Remember, had better has a sense of urgency, of emergency, like something bad will happen if you don't follow this advice. Notice, not is common with should and had better. The negative is not commonly used with ought to. Finally, to. Ought is always followed by to. There is no to with should and had better. Well, I'd better go now. I ought to call Emily and see how her date went. Talk to you later.